My name is Amrith Maldonado. I lead the Panther team here at Prolifics. Been around for a while. You may also know Glenn, of course, one of our lead developers. And today on our call, I've also got our team members here, Nazeer and Sanjay, who will be presenting. So let's get straight to the agenda. What will you be seeing today? Great. So Glenn's been working on something pretty cool. It's called Panther Docked Windows. Windows only, unfortunately. I think some of you guys may be on different platforms, but just good to know, guys. This is what's coming with our next version of Panther. So Glenn will give us a great demo on these docked windows, not Docker windows, it's docked windows, which I know you guys know what it's about once he brings his demo up. We'll also have a couple of team members, Nazeer as well as Sanjay, give us demos on what they've been working on in Panther. As you know, we released Panther 5.60 a few months ago, and our biggest feature is the integration of Python within your Panther screen. So they've got some pretty cool demos to show y'all. They'll not only demonstrate the features, but also kind of show you guys some Python code if there's interest in, us doing some work for you or even answering any questions. So let's hand this over to Glenn to talk about his docked windows. Then he'll give us a demo.
Hello, everybody. What I'm going to talk about is a feature that I've been working on and off in the last couple of months, but mostly off lately. And it's something that I actually thought about, I don't know, 27 years ago when I first worked on the toolbar support for Panther, or actually it was Jam back then. And I worked on the toolbars and the status bar. And both of those use Microsoft Foundation classes technology. And that was my first exposure to Microsoft Foundation classes. And both are actually subclasses of the C control bar class, which is a base Microsoft Foundation class. The Panther application is not natively a Microsoft Foundation class application. It uses standard Win32 APIs. So in order to add Foundation classes objects, we had to do some sort of trickery to make that work. That's one of the reasons I didn't do this feature many, many years ago, even though I had started and stopped. I worked on and off a couple of times, and it wasn't on the schedule for the product for anybody else, which is something I was interested in doing. And the idea basically is that I wanted to be able to make forms behave like toolbars so that you could have all the functionality you get with a regular Panther screen. So instead of just buttons on a toolbar, you could have option menus, fields you could enter into, any kind of Panther functionality. So I thought that would be something we could do because all we need to do is make it behave like a control bar, which in Foundation classes gives you that capability. So obviously you've seen toolbars. You can attach them to the sides of, they're normally just attached to the sides of your MDI frame of the application. But you can also drag them out and they can be floating. That was the first thing I worked on with Foundation classes years ago. Also I should mention that since it's not the way toolbars work, which are associated with menus in Panther, if they're just forms, in order to be able to switch your focus back and forth between your form or screen that is a control bar and another form that you're working with, they have to be sibling windows. So in order to support this feature, I'm going to add a bunch of new properties in the properties window. it'll be something you can use F to ask on the screens and convert it back and forth. You'll be able to choose from a number of these different properties to select how you want exactly how you want it to behave. This is not set in stone. Again, this is some code that I'm working on, and I did not even check it into our source tree. So it's very much a work in progress. So now I'm going to show you a little bit. I'm going to share my desktop so you can see what I'm working on. Can you see my screen? Anybody?
Okay. Yes.
All right. So when you open Panther, this is a 32-bit Panther 560 with a obviously modified extensively because I didn't check this code into the product. And this is what you get when you open it. Although by default I open the properties window in the library table of contents, and you can see Panther has these toolbars up here, and you can move them around. Now, what you get with this feature. Oh, before I do that, Amrith suggested that I start by actually showing you something before showing you how to build a thing. And so I showed her something yesterday, and then after I showed her what I was going to do, I completely changed it. So Amrith will be surprised at what I'm going to show. So this, I want to give you an idea of what you can do with this feature. So this could be like a chat window, and I have it. And when you edit these things, they just edit them just like a regular screen. And I'm just going to open this in test mode, and we'll see what happens. So it went over here. It's now attached to the right side of this screen. I'm going to move something around here that's part of the Teams. And it's attached. Like I can drag the corner back, drag it around, and it's just attached. I can move it down. I could type into here a question. This is all fake, by the way. There's no AI in this chat. I just thought it would be amusing to say, what is the meaning of life?
But it's possible.
It's possible. You can put AI in here. And the answer came back, how should I know? And let's say I want to type in, show you another part of it. I need to find a developer. Oh, can't type. Developer. I need to find a developer. Here is an interface to help you. Look at that. Up here, it looks like a toolbar, but it's not a toolbar because I can now select an option menu from here, and I'm going to find developers. I need to find a developer, right? And let's see, I want to find one in Delaware. Oh, that's where I live. Let's see how many developers are in Delaware. I click go. Oh, it's just me, Len Silverberg. I can clear this. And you can type in these things. You can switch back and forth between, these. And again, this is I can show you. This is attached to the frame. So if I drag this over, I get a scroll bar at the bottom to fix up my interface. So it's just like toolbars, but you can do them a little bit differently. You can make it look like a toolbar. You could make it look like a window, and you could build something more elaborate that's sort of like, a ribbon type of control, with this feature. So let me give you an idea of how you do this. Close this one. And like I could start off by saying, initially the screen has these properties, this new property, which is control bar under dialog. And I could say I want to make this a control bar. And it gets some defaults. So the default is that there's no caption. Caption is what would be in the title bar. Docking site is going to be at the top. It's allowed to be floatable. I'm not going to show you that capability yet because it doesn't quite work right. And I should be able to dock it on any side. So each of these top dockable, left dockable, bottom dockable, and right dockable, I have set to yes. So if I just go into test mode, there it is. It's docked at the top. And again, it's just a big empty thing right now because I didn't put anything in the window. And it has the dragging bar here on the left side. If it had a caption, it would be at the top. And if it was on the right side, it would have that drag bar at the top edge. So, and I could show you that. So I could say docking side equals right. You saw this earlier with the chat window, and it's to the right. And how did I make this look like a toolbar? Okay, well, let's just put something on it. Put a field on it. I want to put in a label here. Search. I want to have a search field. And if I do this, make this a little bit, bring this up a little higher. If I do this, I put it over here, sorry. Meant to put it at the top. So if it's at the top, go back and say docking site equals top. And now it looks like a toolbar, but I can type in there. Now you may notice the color is different from this is called the docking site. And the background is different. I can do anything I want with colors, just like I can in Panther, so on a regular screen. So I can change the background color, and if I want to make it match, I can make it match using extended colors for the background, and 240, 240, 240 for red, green, and blue is approximately the right color. So if I go back in, you can see that now it's looks just kind of like a toolbar. How did I open up the other screens? Well, there's a lot of ways you can open up windows and sibling windows. All I did previously was I think on the chat window itself, I just added a control string. Chat, I think I called it chat 2. So if you open it as a sibling with the 2 ampersands, oops, I didn't do that right. It's an auto control string. I don't think I used an auto control string on the chat window because I remember I hit a button. I did it a little differently. And if I do that with an auto control string, now I can have two of these. And I can also do the same thing to open up a non-docked window, if you will. And I would attempt to drag these out. They're supposed to be made floatable, but if I do that, it might crash. As I said, this is not quite ready to be checked into Panther yet as finished code. So does anybody have any questions about this new feature that I'm working on?
You could unmute yourself or type the question in the chat.
All right. Well, is anybody typing anything, Amrith?
No, I don't see it.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
then I will turn it over to Nazeer, who has something really cool to show you. Go ahead, Nazeer.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll share my screen. And yeah. So this is a very simple demo about integrating Panther 5.60 with Excel. So Excel is a tool, as we all know, a very useful tool, widely used by developers around, and storing our data for smooth handling of data, and um, uh, and getting out reports out of it, and doing our day-to-day work around it. So Excel is a very useful tool. So what we have done here is that we are enabling seamless two-way data interaction between Panther and Excel and improving the usability while preserving existing data workflows. So for this, I've used Python, as we know, provides many libraries. Among them are these two libraries that I've used, OpenPy Excel and Excel Calculator. So with the help of these two libraries, I've been able to replicate what we do with Excel. For example, we would one main reason why we use Excel is for its formulas, to get those formulas right away in place and then make our decisions out of it. And flexible structure. How do I say is it has flexible structure? Is that we don't have any dependency on column names now. So right away, if I open Excel, I can open any Excel file. I just have to type in the name of the sheet and the worksheet that I want to open. So let's go into the demo. I'll escape out of this. Okay, my demo is here. Let's go to a test mode. So yeah, this is our screen, and I'll type in my file name, the one which I want to populate the grid with, and worksheet name is sales data. Here we go. Let me display the sheet now. Yeah, here it is. We have the data populated on the grid. So this grid is supposed to be replicating how our Excel file would look like. So I have product, quantity, unit price, and all the details in here. So unit price is going to have a formula. Sorry, unit price is right away like that. Total will be changing. So let's observe. Let's change the quantities now. I'll make this 5 as, let's say, 3. Let's take the next one as 4. Let's make this as 5, and let's save them back to our sheet. And once I do that, we'll observe change in the total prices. So the Excel formula will get directly applied here. So let's do that and observe change in the totals. Save them back to the sheet. Yeah, there it is. We did see change in there. So 3 times the unit price would be 1500, and then 4 times 500 should be 2000, and so on. So the price did get changed. Now let's verify it by going into our Excel sheet where I have it. Let's check by modified date. Yeah, there it is, 1950. That's the time, Indian Standard Time. Okay, I'll open it in Excel. So here it is. Yeah, those changes got reflected in here. 3, 4, and 5, which I made. And how many in total did we have? Okay, we had actually 50 records. The first column takes away the column names and the metadata stuff. So yeah, this is essentially how we are integrating Excel within Panther and also utilizing its formulas in it. And I think we most of us must have come across our COM solutions that are available in Panther. But this one here is a more easier to implement and one which uh, seamlessly we can integrate with Panther 5.60. So that's one reason you should move to Panther 5.60. and and let me take you to our Python code, which is behind the screen. And the way we go to it would be to go into focus. And now we'll find this new thing in Panther 5.60, which is Python script. And let me open it. Yeah. And I'll open the editor. And this will open up Visual Studio Code, which is something I had already set up in my ini file. Yeah, yeah, here it is. And this is our code behind the screen. So I do have two files named Excel underscore API and data adapter underscore .py files. which have these classes in them, and these can be this can be transported via the Panther product as well as we move ahead with the new releases subsequently. And yeah, as the two functions in it here, we have the populate grid from Excel. So this function will populate the grid on the Excel as we did show you in our demo. And yeah, it's fetching the file name, getting the sheet name. That's essentially all what it does. So it's very simple, very seamless, and you get your, you don't have to now open two different tools and work them together. You can just work with from within Panther, and I think that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, is my screen is visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in this demo, we are extending Panther by integrating with Python to bring advanced analytics and natural language capabilities for Panther screen. I used flights data to perform analytics and used Python's Spacey library to act as a natural language processor and to understand user questions on the travel to enable intelligent querying and a better analytics on the flights data. So now I'm going to my Panther screen. This is my screen which is loaded with flights data. I'm gonna show two ways of performing analytics on this data. One is on the right side where user can select structured inputs like from drop downs from and to airport. And the second one is where user can ask their questions on these flights in normal English and system can able to answer the question. So now I'm doing the first way where I'm selecting from and to airport. I'm selecting flights from Los Angeles to Chicago on today, and I'm selecting departing range is 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. morning. So I can click search. As we can see, I do have find the results where one flight is departing at 6:30 a.m. So instead of selecting manual inputs, we can ask a question in the natural language and the system will answer with the help of Python's Spacey library. So now I'm asking flights from Los Angeles to Tucson departing after 6 a.m. tomorrow. As we can see, we find the results. This is implemented by Python's time constraints and time filtering with the data. The next question I can ask is, first connecting flights from Dallas to Charlotte. Okay, so I'm gonna paste my question here. So as I'm clicking check, it is giving the minimal connecting flights from Dallas to Charlotte, where intermediate airport is the New York. This has been implemented from Python's breadth first search algorithm, which will help finding the shortest path between the two nodes. And the next question I'm gonna ask is, which airline operates airlines with most flights operating today? So which will give the most flights operated by an airline. As we can see, United Airlines operating most flights, which is 14. This has been implemented by Python's inbuilt aggregating functions. Now I'll walk you through code how I implemented this thing. I'm opening my Python script for the screen, opening the Python code in the editor. So these are the modules I'm importing for this screen. Spacey library is the natural language processor, which will understand user questions. And this is the English language model I'm using Encore Web TRF. And I'm importing pandas for data processing and the collections for implementing breadth first search algorithm. Now the read travel grid function will read the data in the grid and convert into pandas data frame, which will easier to compare and check accurate comparisons with the Python code. And then next function is the interpret query, where I implemented specie library. So basically a specie library acts as a natural language processor, which will extract intents, location, geographic locations, date, time. All this will be extracted by this specie library. And now I'm extracting intent and I'm mapping to my Python handlers, which will do the job. The next function I'm going to show is the get paste connection function, where I implemented breadth first search algorithm. So in this function, each where the whole flight's data acts as a graph theory, and each airport act as a node, and the flights between the each airport acts as a edge. So this algorithm will ensure that we'll get a route which with the minimal connecting time and the time calculation also. Like the second flight should leave from the airport after the first flight departing only. That condition we implemented in this function. And the get most airline function is like the airlines with the most operating flights is implemented by Python's inbuilt function like value counts, with which will count most flights per airline, and ID max, which is a Python's built-in function, which will give the top of this thing. So as we can see, this demonstrates how Python is powerful by providing rich built-in libraries for analytics and simplifies the complex logic to minimal, which will enable intelligent features on the existing Panther applications. And how wonder it is, like all of this code, I used Copilot to generate this most of the code initially. Then I customized it for the Panther integration. So as I'm concluding, we are not replacing Panther anymore. We are enhancing it with the modern analytics and AI capabilities to fit in this world.
Good point, Sanjay.
Any questions? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, really
Any
good point.
questions?
What you said at the end, Sanjay. Thank you. That was a fabulous demo.
Very good, Sanjay. I have a question
put.
for you, though. I just want to make sure I understood correctly. You're not using the cloud at all, right? In order to
Yes.
answer questions or any of this. Okay, it's all
Yes.
local. Very good.
Yeah. So initially we planned to integrate local LMs for like Olama to integrate with the Panther, but due to hardware limitations, we paused the effort. But if someone has a good mission to host this LLM on their local, so they can do all these analytics are integrating with AI locally without without exposing to internet, which will very get a security concerns one for their applications.
Okay, great. Like I said earlier, reach out to me. You can email support@prolifics.com if you'd like to get one of the demos. We'll also have a recording of this if this is something you'd like to share with your team members, etc. But if there are no more questions, it was wonderful meeting with everyone again. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.